Hello and welcome to race day for the Duqueine D08 LMP3. Now the upgrade path is a little different, 3332333, just shy of 2 million M and 460 gold. After the rewards, that's just shy of 1.8 million M dollars and 385 gold. Alright, that was from my other video showing the upgrade path, and then I had a race in there that was pretty epic, I thought. This is just going to be stage 5. If you guys are having serious trouble with other races, let me know and I'll consider doing other videos. But I'll probably need to hear from a few people to do it just to see. But quite a few people are having trouble with races in stage 5. So this isn't hard. I'm showing you this to make a point, and that is I'm running this crazy aggressive. Okay, so I've got this set as hard as you can have it set. Now that's a huge mistake. I was trying to power through that corner more. I've been experimenting with braking points, acceleration points. Where can I push it? Where do I have to hold back? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is still... When I started this event, yeah, I had been driving this track, but honestly, life's been way too crazy. I haven't had time. So I've been sitting here staring at that mini-map and making a bunch of mistakes and sorting out my braking points, acceleration points, race lines, etc., etc. We will be getting into that. So for this one, I thought, I was going to do a bit of fuel saving, and I thought, well, what if I just really push it? Like, what happens here? And I noticed there's quite a few stages where it's like, okay, no damage. And I'm okay with that. You get away with a few small taps. It does make it difficult, but real life racing, you really can't have a lot of contact. Like, these cars are delicate. Like, you have a bit too much contact and you've just lost your aero. And you're going to have a very long pit to fix that aero, or you're just going to be giving away so many spots on the track. So it is, real life. You got to be very careful. Like NASCAR, they get away with some pretty serious bumping, but even then, on super speedways, there's serious aero issues if those guys have more extensive damage. Not even too extensive. So, man, this last corner I find difficult. The really bad thing about this circuit is that you've just got that little yellow line that tells you when you're going to go out of bounds, and it can be hard to see sometimes. But now check this out. Now I'm taking this. That's much better. I could have actually pushed that a little bit harder. And these corners, it's interesting where the braking, finding where the braking and acceleration points are. You can see I'm still a bit loose. You're going to notice I am going to be improving upon that. I'll be getting faster and faster. For this corner, very shortly after the bridge, in this car with these upgrades, you're on the brakes. This is a very sharp corner. That is about as close as it gets. I still need to back up the braking point a bit more because I was too late getting to the throttle to really optimize that. This corner, you're also a little bit earlier on the brakes. It's a sharper corner. But then the rest of them, you can be a bit later on the brakes. Like, this is a sharper corner, but it's more gradual the way they do it there. So you'll notice this later on. So I'm pushing this. I'm trying to win every race I can. You saw that in my other video. I only had to be in 15th. I actually won the race. It was very hard. But I want to win. Like, that's why I'm driving. I want to win. That's why we race. So that's the Ferrari 499. I'll leave him in the dust. And even though it says don't run out of fuel, anytime I've really pushed it, you can run out of fuel and be okay. I was getting a little bit worried, honestly, because I didn't want to do this over again. So, tiny bit of coasting there. Not much. And then I'm just going to take it down as much as I can. Probably won't get right down to the wire, though. Yeah, not quite down to the wire. And then this used up my servicing. This uses up my end cap, which you'll see right here. I don't get the full amount. So then I stopped and left it for a day. Now, it's a day later, I'm back at it. This one, a lot of people are having trouble. And your problem is your braking and acceleration points are wrong. You're braking too late, so then you're too late to the throttle, and you can't get in your speed run. That's the problem. If you're relying heavily on assists, even with brake assist low, this will work. You just need to get on the brakes early. The really bad thing about brake assist low, it teaches you late braking points that are wrong. And I mean that. They're just wrong. Like, that was horrible. But anyway, speed run's not for a little bit here. This is not it. This is too early for the speed run. I think this is too early. Yeah, this is too early. So we're coming up on, like this corner. Watch how quick soon, like right after the bridge, I'm on those brakes. Not going off track to the very last. There we go. That's nice. The next corner is the same, meaning you're braking before the pylons. Now, I'll just say, let's just say 2 car lengths. I'm not sure. Watch this here. There. I mean, I'm braking pretty early. Now that I came in a little bit too heavy. This is actually after... we're still a little bit ways here. Here you're braking into the pylons and on the gas quite early because that's quite a open corner. Lots of room to power out of that corner. And then we've got even better corners. Like there's a slight braking point here. My friend the Ferrari, I'll get around him. I don't want to have anything in the way. And then, oh, that wasn't great. But still, watch. I will hit speed here, okay? Then I will hit speed again on the start-finish straight. And then I could hit speed like a third time if I needed to, but I don't. There, I just hit speed. And I don't have incredible upgrades. I've got the bare minimum that I showed you at the start. You'll see that at the very end of the video. And then watch, I'll hit speed again here because my braking point is the end of this wall on my right. There, hit speed. So if you're having trouble, it's about your braking and acceleration points. So just watch what I'm doing here. I'm going to talk more about those braking and acceleration points as we get into the next stage, and then you've got them. So this one is another one people are having trouble with, lapping 5 opponents without any damage. The without any damage part is not a problem, I didn't think. It's maybe catching them, and again, this is going to come down to how you're driving. So the end of this wall is your first braking point, and we're not going quite full speed yet, so it's pretty short here. And watch that. See how I'm powering through this? Now the pylons appearing on the right first set, that's your braking point. Keep it all on track. Check that out. That was all legal in this game. And then power out this one. So I'm carrying a lot of speed here. And then heading into this next braking zone, this is the early one. Right after the bridge, get on the brakes. Okay, and don't go off track very much. Very early, start that turn nice and early. Whoa, boy, that was losing it a little bit. And then the next braking point is also early, meaning before the pylons, approximately 2 to 3 car lengths maybe. When you're experimenting with braking points, start a bit too early. You can fix an early braking point, you can't really fix a late one. You're gonna blow your exit of the corner. If you end up having to double, triple tap the brakes, you can still get a really good drive out of the corner like that, right here. Beautiful drive out of that corner. But if you wreck your entrance to the corner, you can't fix the exit. You're just, the whole thing's shot. So you're gonna pay for it down the whole next straightaway, guys. So if you wreck the entrance to the corner here, like that, there, I'm suffering for this entire straightaway. I will not hit the same speed I would have if I wouldn't have made the mistake on the exit of that corner. My entrance was good, my exit was bad. So your speed down a straightaway is dependent on how you entered the previous corner. If you don't enter properly, you can't exit properly. That was sloppy too. Now, we're not gonna watch this whole thing because it would be way too long. So we skipped the whole second lap. It's just the same thing. And this is the lap where I start catching people. So check that out. Again, I was braking at the end of that wall on the right. Now I'm gonna look for those pylons on the brakes and on the throttle right about at the center of the corner. That's the general rule. Here's a little bit different. It's actually a pretty short braking point for that corner I just went through. Then we've got a nice long run, keep it to the right. You can take 2 tires off if you want to. Some people freak out over that, whatever. Then we're on the brakes just after that bridge. Take it a little bit wide. Try to keep those tires on track as much as possible. 2 tires off track increases your braking distance, but it also increases the race line or trajectory into the corner, so sometimes it's optimal. Braking about 2 to 3 car lengths early, tiny bit off. Look at that drive out. Beautiful, beautiful. And then watching this one, no braking here. Braking kind of around the second set of pylons, really. And then look at that drive out. Beautiful drive out. Very good. I've been working at this hard, guys. Now this corner, you can get overtakes here because they overbrake for this slight corner, which is really funny how much they overbrake. And then this is not much of a braking point on the throttle very early. That was pretty good. Actually, that was really good. Now, right now, it feels like I'm not going to catch that 5th guy, but he's not too far away. If you watch the mini-map, you can see him appearing. I'm having a lot of trouble on this corner. You want to be wide here, but I'm too wide this time. Ooh, getting close. I love that they have a Canadian leading most of these races. Yeah, baby. I love seeing that. I'm Canadian, so that's awesome for me. As soon as you pass this dude, it's over. Oh, not that guy. Sorry, I got a few more guys to go yet. Oh gosh, I was reading that backwards. Oh, silly me. Well, it's still going to be over really soon. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I thought it was going to go 2 to 1, but no, it's going to go up to 5. Duh. Okay. Still, We'll catch these cars very quickly. There he is right in front of me. And they really do horrible at this corner. That wasn't great. I was to the throttle too late, which means I was into the brakes too late. Couldn't fix it. Nothing I could do. But I'll catch him right here. This is another early braking corner, and we're on the throttle at about that apex, center point of that corner. Remember that. There we go. That's it for that race. Now, last race, boy, some people have been telling me how aggressive the bots are. I had an interesting experience we're going to look at, and we're going to analyze it quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time here. I thought I was minding my lane, and then he just came up and hit me and took me out. Let's go back and watch slowly. Look where I am. Notice how I start going over to the right? I really came down on him, but I didn't notice it in the moment. Yes, he did come into my line a little bit, but that was mostly my fault. We're side-by-side racing. I need to mind my lane. Okay, I'm going to do lots of slipstreaming here. That's these, pretty sure these are GT4s. Yeah, GT4s. Lots of slipstreaming, catching a little bit of a boost. Got to be careful here. Depending, sometimes they get loose like that, sometimes they don't. Either way, you can dive bomb them. Then again, first set of pylons, we want to get through as much as possible. That was bad what I just did. That was not good. But I'm still getting through a little bit of pressure on him. That Nissan should not have been hitting the brakes for me. I put some pressure on him, so he did. Now I'm getting an awesome push. We're both going to brake quite early, so this is okay. Look at equal braking between me and the Nissan behind me. Then I'm around him. Oh, barely keeping it on. I'm already in 5th place with like 3.5 laps to go. More than that, 3 2/3. Now, that's a Porsche. He's all over me. That's okay. I'm going to drive right in his line, but I've got to brake a little bit earlier because he was giving me a boost. I was going faster than what I would normally have done on my own. Now I want to be on the inside line on this guy for this corner. Maybe get around this. Ooh, that's dangerous. I tapped him. I failed a few times doing that. Bump drafting them. That's risky. Now watch this corner. I'm going to have to brake early so I get a better race line to get around him. There we go. Because I've learned they brake way too early for that corner. So you got to learn, right? That's what real race car drivers do. They watch the competition. Where is my competition weak? Boom, that's where I pounce. So I noticed the bots are weak at that corner. Boom, that's where I pounce. Here, I'm weak, but I'm better than they are. Now, my buddy, my man, what you doing, Canadian buddy? Why did you give up the lead? So I don't know if I got the bots really cranked, and so Gunner's now falling back. Watch what happens on corner 1. That Ferrari 499 should be devastating me. Look how much better I took that corner. So you've got to take the time to really learn from the track. Holy smokes, buddy. That was a horrible race line. I was not expecting that. I almost lost right there. And look at this. I'm in the lead with 2 more laps to go. Well, that's a lot for you guys to watch, so we've skipped ahead to the last lap. So you can just see how this is going for me, but there you go. That's a little bit sloppy. That corner is still difficult for me. It's a complicated corner. But there you go, guys. You just gotta take some time, learn the track, and it'll go a lot better for you. This is an interesting track. Bots aren't very good here. Very flat track, no banking. So that makes this challenging, but bots, that's where we get the bots. Bots are always weak in the corners, so that's where we pounce on them. And some of the races, the LMP1s, are hard to catch, but then on certain corners, they get very weak, and so it can be easy to get them. Like all cars do bad in this particular corner, so that's where I get them. And then this corner too, very little bit on the brakes. Check this out. Very straight line through that. And you can hit some pretty big speeds as you're blasting through this. So my setup, tilt B controls, that's what I always use. All assists off. My steering sensitivity is on 2. That's more of a personal choice. You don't switch to mine. If you're currently using 8, you'll go nuts if you go down to 2. Only make adjustments of like 2 to 3 notches at the most if you want to adjust at all. Lower sensitivity does give you more control, but you have to tilt more. So that's all to be considered. We're gonna go through this kind of fast, and then it'll slow down to show you the upgrades again. All 3s except for suspension is just at 2. Looks like they were aiming at that 2 million mark. Good for them, making it a little easier. Please like, please subscribe, check out some other videos, and I will see you out there on the track.